In the heart of the Mediterranean, where waves crash against jagged cliffs and stars pierce the ink-black sky, an ancient story rises with the sea mist. A tale of a giant, towering, terrifying, and with only one eye. The Cyclops. To some he was a monster, to others a symbol, and maybe, just maybe, not a myth at all. Tonight, we dive into the mystery of the Cyclops. Where did this legend begin? Could it be linked to ancient fossils? Why does this one-eyed giant still loom so large in our imagination, even thousands of years later? Because in every myth lies a forgotten truth. The Cyclops first appears in Greek mythology, but not always in the way most of us remember. In Homer's Odyssey, Odysseus meets the most famous Cyclops of all, Polyphemus, a monstrous shepherd who traps the hero and his men in a cave, eats them one by one, and nearly ends their journey home. He is strong, brutal, and blind with rage, literally. But before Homer, there were other Cyclopes. In Hesiod's Theogony, the Cyclopes were divine craftsmen. Three brothers, Brontes, thunder, Steropes, lightning, and Argus, bright. Born of Gaia and Uranus, they forged Zeus's thunderbolts and the weapons of Olympus. They were not monsters, they were creators, engineers of divine fury. They labored not in caves of savagery, but in forges of cosmic might. So which is it? A savage brute in a cave, or a divine architect of storms? Maybe the truth, as always, is more complicated. Perhaps the Cyclops, like many mythical creatures, reflects duality, creation and destruction, civilization and wildness, human and inhuman. Archaeologists have uncovered ancient skulls on Mediterranean islands, giant skulls, massive in proportion, with a single large hole in the center of the forehead. To ancient eyes, these were not the bones of elephants or mastodons. They were proof that giants once walked the earth. In truth, the skulls belonged to dwarf elephants. The central hole wasn't for an eye, but for a trunk. But lacking that knowledge, early islanders may have imagined these creatures as terrifying one-eyed beasts. And so, the myth of the Cyclops could be rooted in fossilized remains, real bones misread by ancient minds. Still, bones alone do not make a legend. What gave the Cyclops its lasting power? What made it echo in stories from Italy to India, from the Bronze Age to Hollywood? It's what those ancient skulls represented. The unknown, the misunderstood, and the primal fear of something much bigger than ourselves. In many cultures, the eye is a symbol of truth, vision, power. But a single eye, that becomes something else entirely. It becomes unnatural, uneven, always watching, always judging. To the Greeks, the Cyclops was not just dangerous because of his strength. He was terrifying because of what he represented, raw, untamed force. A man stripped of reason, of society, of divine order. Polyphemus doesn't live in a city. He doesn't build temples or honor the gods. He is alone, wild, monstrous. He is everything the Greeks feared becoming without civilization. But there's irony here too. Odysseus defeats him not with a sword, but with deception. He calls himself nobody, gets the Cyclops drunk, drives a stake through his eye, and slips away beneath the bellies of sheep. In the end, who is more monstrous? The brute who acts from instinct, or the man who lies and blinds? It's a question that lingers, because perhaps the Cyclops isn't the villain. Perhaps he's the victim. The Cyclops may have begun in Greek myth, but echoes of one-eyed giants exist across the globe. In Norse legend, the Jotnar giants were often single-eyed beings of immense strength. They clashed with gods and carried cosmic wisdom. In Baltic and Slavic folktales, one-eyed spirits haunt mountain passes. Some are blacksmiths, forging impossible weapons. Others are guardian spirits, dangerous if disrespected. Even in Hindu mythology, some asuras, demons, are depicted with a single eye. Their vision is not flawed, it is focused, intense, consuming. Why does this motif appear in so many cultures? Because the single eye symbolizes imbalance, obsession, otherness. It unnerves us, and yet we cannot look away. Maybe the Cyclops isn't just a monster in a cave. Maybe he is something far older, a relic of a forgotten ancestor, a memory of a time before language, before structure, before gods ruled from mountaintops. Or maybe he is the part of us we try to cage, the part that rages against conformity, that howls in silence, that refuses to kneel. The Cyclops asks a terrifying question. Who are you when no one is watching? When no rules bind you? When the world falls away and all that remains is instinct? Are you still human or something else? That is why he endures. Because he lives not only in stories, but in us, in the quiet moments, in the wild urges, in the shadows of the mind. He is the beast in the cave, and the cave is inside us. So next time you hear thunder or see a mountain shadow cast by a dying sun, think of the Cyclops, not just as a villain, but as a mirror, a symbol of chaos and creation, of blindness and vision, of myths built not from lies, but from fears. Because every time we tell a story of the Cyclops, we ask ourselves, what are we still blind to? What truths do our monsters carry? Let us know in the comments where you're watching from. And if this legend opened your eye to something new, subscribe to the Myth Archive. A new tale awaits tomorrow, because every myth begins with a spark.